Departments nationwide now paying closer attention to their use of force. The Now's Ann McNamara takes us inside a training facility in Washington State that's leading the country in reform.
This looks like a typical day on the job, a typical call.
I paid you your money. You need to leave us alone.
But the typical response is what they're trying to change.
It's not your traditional police training. It's not firearms. It's not defensive tactics. What we're trying to help students develop is that one-on-one personal relationship with the individuals they're going to be serving.
Police recruits in Washington State learn how to be guardians of their communities, de-escalating tense situations without weapons.
Alex, can you hear me? How you doing, man?
On this mock call, the suspect has threatened suicide, and instead of using force, the recruit relates to him on a personal level.
I've had a relative who did that, and he was a really good friend of mine, apart from being family.
If you want to share a personal experience, that's deep, man. It is, okay? It is bringing up those emotions in that.
The Progressive program is getting the attention of departments all across the country that send officers here to train. And yes, there is pushback. Veteran officers will be the first to question if it puts their lives at risk.
What we find out with veteran law enforcement officers, even new ones, is there's two things they hate. They hate the way things are, and they hate change. But when they really explain it, we get down and talking about it, I think they understand this is what good police have been doing all along.
And what police have been doing all along is still important.
So it turns him. Turn.
The physical training still just as intense.
Because we are teaching people how to fight, how to shoot, all of those hard skills, what we call the warrior skills. Because really it's not warrior guardian, it's mixed both, but finding the right balance.
A balance they believe will save lives in the long run.
What we're talking about here at the Academy is a philosophy change.
This program has become such a strong training model that President Obama asked the executive director to work on his national policing panel to look at law enforcement in the years to come. In Washington State, I'm Ann McNamara for The Now.
Almost 1,000 people were killed by police just last year, according to the Washington Post. The Washington Post has put together this website, and they've pulled up information on every police-involved shooting in the country. If you look at Kansas, you'll see that there were 9 total in the state. 2 in Wichita, there were a couple sprinkled in. But if we go back to Missouri, there were 24 last year in the state of Missouri. It even breaks it down to how many. Look in the Kansas City area. And if we click on this, look what happens. It even pulls up the person who was killed and tells you a little bit about him. This is on the Washington Post website. In the Kansas City area, there have been 8 deadly police shootings in the metro since the beginning of 2015. Justin?